Leo and the Magic Owl. Once upon a time, in a land not so very far away, lived a boy named Leo. He was 10 years old, with kind green eyes and a head of brown hair. After coming home from school, Leo would finish his homework. And then his world would fill with the flashing lights of computer games, or the colorful swirl of cartoons on television. Sometimes he would venture into the large garden to feed the soft, quiet rabbits that lived there. The days tumbled one after another until, at last, it was New Year's Eve. Snow was falling in a gentle blanket outside, and deer and rabbits wandered through the garden like figures in a dream. Inside, Leo excitedly began to open his presents. He received the toy fire truck he had wished for, a handsome toy tiger, and a book from his great-grandfather. He placed the tiger on his bedside table, left the book on his desk, and immediately began to play with his new fire truck. Days passed. One afternoon, Leo was in his room again, deep in a computer game, when a fierce storm began to rage outside. The wind howled so powerfully that the lights flickered and went out. The electricity was gone. Leo was terribly disappointed. He wandered from his room into the living room, where his parents were sitting by the warm glow of the fireplace, reading and talking quietly. "I'm so bored," he thought to himself, and returned to his room. He played with his toys for a while, stared out the window at the crows battling the wind, and just as he was about to burst from boredom, his eyes fell upon the book he had left on his desk. He picked it up to examine it. On the cover was a picture of a wise old owl, and the title of the book was The Magic Owl. "I'll look at it later," he thought, and placed the book face down on his desk. Immediately, he heard a voice. "Hey kid, I can't see, turn me over." Leo's eyes grew as wide as saucers. The voice was coming from the book. He quickly flipped the book over and saw the old owl on the cover, smiling at him. In a spellbound whisper, he asked, Can you talk?" "Yes, of course," said the old owl. "I can talk, and this is a magical book. Everything on the pages you read, you will see, live, feel, and even taste. Why don't you give it a try?" Leo, full of astonishment and curiosity, began to read. The first page told the story of a dinosaur, and suddenly he found himself standing right next to dinosaurs. The next page described a chocolate waterfall, and Leo could taste the sweet, rich chocolate on his tongue. Another page told the tale of a flying pink elephant, and Leo climbed onto its back and soared through the clouds. From that day on, Leo would rush home from school, excited to open his magic book. As he read, he traveled to countries he had never seen, became a king, a superhero, and even turned invisible. He raced against giraffes, passed through the heart of a rainbow, and spoke with cats. One day, he began to read the very last page of the book. On it was another smiling picture of the old owl, and beneath it were these words: "Leo, you have read and finished this book, and now you have begun to spend more time with all books. The truth is, the magic is not just in this book, but in all of them. Keep reading, and I will be with you in every story. Farewell, your friend." The old owl. Leo carefully placed the magic owl on his bookshelf. Then, he chose a new book to read and set off on another journey into a new world of imagination.